Hey there everyone, it's Commercial Review. For a short time this summer, everyone and their brother was watching the World Cup, even if they hated soccer, which I realize is football to the rest of the world. America! Having all of those spectators meant that not just the athletes, but advertisers were on their A-game, because when you've got that many people paying attention for that limited time, you've got to make it count. One of the big advertisers this year, no surprise, was Nike. I think that Nike is one of the great examples of an expertly managed brand. You could be cynical and say that their commercials are excellent because of how much money they're throwing at them, but a lot of money does not always a good commercial make. I like that everything about Nike is easy to understand. The short name, the logo, the slogans, the product itself. For the most part, none of their branding or advertisements make unreasonable demands on my time. Nike understands that celebrity endorsements matter. Their ad campaigns are often creative and memorable, and they're not afraid to reinvent their core slogans or approach, while maintaining their overall brand image of superhuman achievement coupled with ordinary human drive and determination. For the World Cup this year, Nike came out with two big TV spots. One of them is just okay, and not what I'd expect from this company after a few decades of practice. The other one, on its own, is fantastic. In keeping with their campaign slogan, "Risk Everything," this one took a bit of a gamble, but I think it pays off. Let's start with Winner Stays. The commercial opens with a group of young football enthusiasts gathering at a neighborhood pitch. This humble introduction gives way to flashier action as the kids are allowed to become the football players they admire, and we think that this idea is going to take us all the way through to the end. Instead, we're treated to increasingly random episodes, such as competing fans turning into boxers, and one of the players turning into the Hulk, which struck me as a pretty cynical move. It's ironic that this spot's name is Winner Stays, when it looks like anything that could possibly hook another demographic was allowed to stay in. For most viewers, the whole thing is going to come across as chaotic and a little pandering, especially those scenes near the end when all the peoples of the world, including a Chinese family uncharacteristically eating noodles out of a bowl with chopsticks, gazed in anticipation at the final kick. This advertisement exemplifies one important fact: unbridled imagination is usually a synonym for clutter. Anything and everything has somehow made its way into this commercial, so while individual 15 to 20 second snippets work well together, and I'm guessing that that's why the commercial is made this way so that it fits into different time allotments, it never feels like all of the parts combine as a cohesive whole. This is nowhere clearer than at the end, when our expectations from the framing device at the beginning are half-heartedly resolved. All in all, it's an advertisement that unfortunately fails to deliver on its own premise, or on the solid simplicity that has made the Nike brand so successful. Their other commercial, The Last Game, is much more compelling, but also more risky, because you can't split it up into random segments of sports fun like Winner Stays. The rubbery cartoon design and the Mission Impossible vibe clearly owe a lot to Pixar's The Incredibles, so there's a lot of frenetic, bouncy action, bright colors, and exaggerated situations and personalities. Now, the tricky thing about making a cartoon advertisement that's 5.5 minutes long is that your target audience has to like cartoons and have an attention span longer than 30 seconds. Normally, the longer an advertisement has to be to get its message across, the worse it is, as best exemplified by hour-long infomercials. However, in a good move, The Last Game does not emphasize the Nike brand until the characters and the story have been well established. When it does show up, the selection of different products and colors available corresponds naturally to the group of underdog super athletes, which in any other situation would be an oxymoron. The moral of the contest between the humans and the clones is that risk, independence, and out-of-the-box thinking wins. It's an idea that will speak to a lot of people if they're willing to overlook the fact that Nike is in no way an independent or out-of-the-box brand. This brings me to the major difference between Winner Stays and The Last Game. Both of them want you to give your money to Nike, and both of them are willing to do everything it takes to make that happen. But while the first commercial sees everything it takes to mean as much as we can put in here as possible, the second commercial sees it to mean as creative and compelling as possible. When your commercial's strategy is, look at this thing, and this thing, and this thing, and this thing, people are going to get frustrated if they don't get tired first. But if your key idea is, there's one thing I want to show you, and I think you'll like it, even though now the audience only needs one opportunity to say no, they're probably going to listen to you a lot longer. And as any salesman knows, if someone hasn't stopped paying attention, their wallet is half open already. As always, thanks for watching. Check out the other commercial reviews that we've made so far. Leave us a comment about this review or any commercials you'd like us to tackle in the future, and we'll see y'all later.
Stop that! They will never do that.